Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome members of the Kent Police and Correction Departments and the Boy Scouts of America, Troop 407, with our honor guard tonight.
Will the audience please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem from the Kent Meridian High School Choir. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the United Wildcats Kent Elementary Stomp and Dance Team.
Wildcats, are you ready? Say what? I can't Hello, my name is Beyonce.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the United Wildcats Kent Elementary Stomp and Dance Team. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Kent Mayor Dana Ralph.
All my friends. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for coming out to my 8th annual State of the City address. It is so hard to believe it has been 8 years. And happy first day of spring. It's also hard to believe it's first day of spring, it's super confusing. All right, and really quick, another round of applause for our amazing performers. Wasn't that so much fun? We've got a ton of ground to cover tonight, so I'm going to apologize in advance. I know that this might not be exciting as the whole baseball. This is with a confusion. There's a basketball thing happening, correct? Right? So that's happening, but we've got so much good stuff to talk about tonight. I do have to also shout out to the fact that this is probably not going to be as fun as those T-Birds playoff games. Go Birds! So exciting. What we are going to have tonight is optimism. Optimism for the future. And so I am so grateful for you to be here tonight to share that with us. My goal is not only to share an update on what we've accomplished, but impart a collective shared vision for our city and how we are moving Kent forward. So I hope you grab some snacks. Biblos, Project Feast, Nana's Southern Kitchen, they do not mess around when it comes to good eats. And we're so grateful for them coming out to tonight. I want to start by recognizing our council president. She could not be here with us tonight. She's got something else going on, like, I don't know, a baby on the way. So absolutely an excused absence tonight. The members of our Kent City Council, my fellow elected officials, there's a whole bunch of you sitting down here in the front row, all of our regional partners, community leaders, volunteers, our amazing city staff, and all of you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I do want to do a special thank you to our Chief Administrative Officer, Pat Fitzpatrick, and all of our department directors. As you will hear tonight, running a city, let alone a big and growing and exceptionally diverse city like Kent, is an enormous undertaking. And we all know teamwork makes the dream work, and I am fortunate to be a part of the most amazing team. I also want to say thank you to our Kent 101 participants. They have learned exactly how much teamwork goes into running a city, and they're here with us tonight, so big shout out to them, and thank you for taking the time to be a part of our Kent Civics class. Also, thank you to the Scout Troop 407 for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance and assisting the Kent Police and Corrections Honor Guard in posting the colors. I'd also like to thank the KM students for welcoming us with the national anthem. You'll find all of their names in the program that you grabbed on your way in. And I want to say thank you to the United Wildcats, also known as the Kent Elementary Stomp Team, and their amazing teacher, Ms. Saucedo, for their wonderful performance this evening. Let's give all of our performers one more round of applause. A couple more thank yous, but then we'll get going here. So thank you to Nicole Berkman and Kelly Jennings for providing this with the ASL interpretation this evening. Thank you both so much for making this event more accessible. And lastly, I want to say thank you to my family. Way back, when I was a student here at KM, I met my amazing husband, my high school sweetheart. We got married and we have 2 incredible boys, and now I also have an amazing daughter-in-law, and they are here tonight to support, and I am so grateful for them. Thank you all for being here. Okay. Next up, I want to take an opportunity to recognize someone that epitomizes the statement that you hear us say all the time, we are Kent. That idea that we talk about, what does that mean to be part of a community? So 4 years ago, we created what we call our Legacy Award. And the purpose of the Legacy Award is to honor people and organizations that have made a significant positive impact in our community. We've celebrated some amazing people since then. Kent Meridian High School seniors that lived through COVID, our historical society, Council Member Judy Woods, our longest serving council member. This year, it is truly my honor, and many of you know him, to recognize and present the Legacy Award to my friend, Matt Rourke, the founder of We Love Kent. Matt, you want to come on up here? We Love Kent is a nonprofit organization and network of local churches, community groups, friends, and families. Hello, my friend. I'll grab that in a second. I want to say some nice things about you before we get there. Like I said, We Love Kent is an amazing organization, a network of local churches, nonprofit groups, friends and families in Kent who are united together to serve and spread love. How do you argue with that mission? It's pretty powerful. Matt founded this organization during the pandemic because he felt that he was called to serve, and he's done that in a really big way. I remember the first time he reached out, and I was like, "You're doing what and how?" And we met, and we hugged, and we cried a little bit, and we celebrated. Matt has done amazing things. We Love Kent hosts food distribution events all around the city. They put together community events, share information about available resources and services, and they do whatever they can to give back to our city. Matt, I'm going to ask you to say a few words. Okay, let me, do you have a microphone? There you go.
Thank you. I'm just honored to be here tonight. I'm thankful for the community of Kent to continue to support We Love Kent. I truly do love this city. I think our church does, Calvary Chapel South, that has supported me in this role as well. I'm so grateful for our pastors and staff there, and we do so much for this community. We support schools with snacks. If you ever see Biscoff and pretzels, they probably come from me. So we're so grateful for that. We're so grateful for partners that do community service events. We got some great stuff planned this year. And we just love our city. We're going to take ownership of it. We're going to love it. We're going to care for it. And we're just here to serve. And that's what my heart is for. But I also want to do a special shout out to my amazing wife, Crystal. She's not here. She's home with my 2-year-old crazy boy right now. But I have my 2 girls right there, Tatum and Kinsley, so they're here to support Dad tonight. So, but I'm just grateful to work in a city. I also work for the Kent School District, so I have a full-time job and this, and it's just been a blessing. So I'm grateful to be here, and thank you, Dana, for this award. I appreciate it.
So I'm going to read this. It's the Legacy Award from the City of Kent, presented to Matt Rourke. This award celebrates excellence by those in our community who deserve to be recognized for their achievements, going above and beyond to reach their goals and make positive impact on the Kent community for years to come. Awesome. Matt, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So you can see exactly why Matt is the recipient of our Legacy Award this year, taking amazing care of our community and supporting it in so many different ways. All right. It has been quite a year since our last State of the City, and a lot has happened in just the past few months. Let's see, we had a bomb cyclone. Looking at my friend from Issaquah, that was a really big deal, right? Who's ever even heard of a bomb cyclone? I don't even know what that, I think it's a made-up term, but it was very, very real. Lawn furniture flying by, all those kinds of things. We saw some crazy wind, but we didn't see much snow this year. Our public works crews might not be super happy with me saying, I kind of wish we had at least a little bit more snow. We got a little, though, and we asked our residents to send in their snow day pics, and we got some really cute ones. The one in the upper left is my son Derek's new puppy. Shameless plug, that's Sylvie. She got to experience her first snow this year, and it was so much fun. Many of our Kent residents also got to see their first aurora, or northern lights. Check out this amazing time lapse that one of our residents sent in. We love to engage on social media, and this is the fun stuff. In the last few months, we also reaffirmed our commitment to our sister cities. We welcomed student ambassadors from Tamba, Japan, our shared sister city with Auburn, Yangzhou, China. We contacted our counterparts in Sunnfjord, Norway, and we had a chance to meet the mayor of Lutsk, our newest sister city in Ukraine, in person this year. So that was pretty exciting. Yeah. We had some of our local firefighters join from other agencies around the region to go to the strike team to help battle the wildfires in Southern California. I know we are all glad that they returned safely and also so proud of the work that they have done. I could go on and on about the memorable things, and really it's just scratching the surface. Those are just things that happened in just the last few months. So let's dive in and get on with the state of the city. Kent has been one of the fastest growing mid-sized cities in the country in recent years and continues to be one of the most culturally diverse cities in the entire nation. Our official population hit 140,000 last year, right? It's a big deal. We added 61,000 new residents in the last 15 years. For some perspective, that's around the same amount of people that Kent had in total when I graduated from Kent Meridian High School. We've added since then. No laughing about how long ago that was. It was only weeks ago. This growth brings new life and energy, but let's be honest, it also comes with challenges. While a chunk of the population increase was due to annexation, those folks still need services, but it's a lot about choice, a lot of people moving into our city. Think about all of our neighbors in the terms of what they need: jobs, housing, transit, work, all of those things. As you can imagine, this, along with the broader economic conditions, can put a strain on available resources. There is a tremendous demand for everything a city provides to its residents. So, of course, it's no surprise that there have been growing pains, just like any rapidly urbanizing city experiences. There's a lot of great places in town, but there's also places that honestly need our love, and we're going to keep working on that. Kent's a working class city, and that's something that I am very proud of. It's the place I grew up. We've been actively planning for the city's growth with many important infrastructure, transportation, parks projects that we've completed in the last years, and we've got more progress on the horizon. But we have to pay for it all, right? That's kind of a bummer, I know, but it's just like your family and my family. We have to balance that checkbook at the end of the day. So let's talk a little bit about money. There we go. For years, the City of Kent has been operating on a tight budget, and that includes our $884 million 2025-2026 biennial budget that Council unanimously adopted last year. Across the nation, families have been grappling with inflation. We've all felt it, and it's played a significant role in our decision-making here at the City of Kent. The Consumer Price Index for the region recently came in at a 40-year record high, and city expenditures have continued to grow rapidly. It just costs more money to do business. There's a lot of uncertainty in our economy, and our dollars don't go as far as they used to. We've prepared a status quo budget in the goal of keeping our city finances stable to avoid having to make tougher decisions later. We agreed that any new requests would need a sustainable revenue source behind them, or a reduction from the same bucket of money. But that doesn't mean that everything comes to a standstill. It just means that as elected leaders, we often must make really tough decisions. Kent residents put their trust in us, and we take that seriously. No essential services, programs, or direct supports were cut in this budget. Though, one of the challenges we continue to grapple with when budgeting is the way sales tax is collected in the state of Washington. Many of you have heard me talk about this time and time again. Long story short, Kent's gotten the short end of the stick, and we've been doing all we can to convince legislators in Olympia to take action. You can read more, see more, there's videos, all kinds of information at kentwa.gov/SST. I do want to say thank you to our finance team for their incredible work with this budget. It's no small task, and I couldn't be prouder of how they are stretching our dollars to make the greatest impact possible. Despite the challenges, I can say with confidence that I and every member of our council are absolutely committed to being fiscally responsible with your dollars and allocating them in a way that best improves the lives of Kent families and moves our city forward. So that kind of gives us the lay of the land for what's to come with our city finances. Despite some unfavorable economic conditions, we've made great strides, and we're continuing to deliver results for our families. We have to move forward. As a lifelong Kent resident, I've seen our community change as it grows. Well, sometimes change isn't always comfortable. I am so proud of what our city is doing and who we are becoming. Over the years, we've been very intentional about planning and population growth and anticipating uncertainty in the economy. Kent plans for people. People need safe, secure, and affordable places to live. A strong economy with job opportunities, access to parks and open spaces, transportation options that connect neighborhoods and bring people together. So, as we enter the second half of the decade, hard to believe that we're halfway there, right? We're implementing policies to keep our city healthy and on track for sustainable growth. We know that successful change doesn't happen to communities, but it happens with them. The city has been working to gather feedback from residents over the past 2 years on a plan that envisions how we build and grow together. In December, after extensive engagement and empirical studies, the Kent City Council unanimously adopted our 2044 Kent Comprehensive Plan, which will guide city development for decades to come. This outreach and planning considered important topics such as land use, housing, parks, transportation, the environment, and many other key issues. The plan really begged the question as to what kind of city do we want to be, and more important, how do we get there? What's the plan? What does the roadmap look like? As a part of the comp plan, the city's updating our future land use and zoning, our maps to reflect the shared vision and preferred development strategies that we heard from our residents. The comp plan and everyone who has worked on it envisions a future where generations to come can thrive in our city. I like to think of this in terms of making sure Kent is a place where our kids want to call home. We're going to raise them up, we're going to send them out in the world for a little bit, but then we want them to come back. It considers the unique needs of our different neighborhoods. We know that the downtown can be different from the West Hill and the East Hill, and we can't treat them all the same. At the heart of the plan, though, are the voices and values that we heard from residents all over the city, which are directly reflected in the approach that we are taking. A major component of the plan involves how we think about land use, which is really at the foundation of everything. It's part and parcel of what goes where around the city and why. Like all jurisdictions, we have limited land, and the fact of the matter is Kent will continue to undergo changes. Some are going to be popular, and some are going to be not so popular. We just have to be honest about that. It is not change for change's sake, though, but to build a safer, more connected, complete city that offers fulfillment for not just you or your children, but your grandchildren and their families too. 4 generations of my family have lived here, and I often think about what their lives were like. From the first people that lived off the land, to the farmers in the valley, to our current generation, it's now up to us to honor their legacy and be the best stewards that we can be of this place that we all call home. I take that responsibility very seriously. I love our city. I'm pretty sure you've all heard me say that, and I mean it from the very bottom of my heart. From talking to that mom at Fred Meyer as their kid tries to slip that candy bar into their shopping cart, hoping they don't get caught, to catching a Thunderbirds game with my family and friends, feeling the energy in the arena, and cheering together for a common goal. Listening to the frogs on a warm spring night. Isn't that the best sound ever? Sharing a laugh and a scone at cornucopia days. These experiences, they're a feeling. They are about who we are. You know, I'm often asked, why do you do this, right? Like, what's your why? For me, it's a labor of love. Running for office was and is about wanting to be a part of something more, building an opportunity for more of these experiences for as many people as possible who choose to call Kent home. Taking up the mantle of Kent, of Titusville, the lettuce capital of the world, the hops capital of the West, an urbanizing city, an economic center, and channeling the hopes and dreams of those who came before us into making life just that much better in every way I can. To create places and opportunities in our city that makes us proud of where you live, makes it a place your kids want to stay and return to, and that truly feels like home. My goal as your mayor, and the shared ideal that my administration and our city council strive towards, is to navigate our city's evolution to that end. Multi-generational living, right? We know that that is how people are. Sometimes it's out of necessity, but sometimes it's a really good thing to have mom and dad and grandma and grandpa and grandkids all in the same place. We want to make sure that we've got safe and convenient places to eat, to run errands, to take your dogs out for a walk. So, really quick story. There's another shameless plug. There's Sylvie the day she came to visit me at work. It's a little bit early in the morning. You can tell my hair's a little messed up. I was hoping she could come tonight, but let's be honest, she's still a puppy. Not such a good idea. But I want to say thank you to Derek for sharing her with us. Anyway, also for all the dogs out there in Kent, know that your interests are represented at City Hall as well. Look at all those puppies. So while the nature of this work is gradual, step by step, Kent is moving forward. A project that's a great example of our approach is already underway in our effort to reinvigorate the Benson Corridor, or this area along 104th and 108th, stretching from our northern city limits with Renton at 192nd down to Kent Kangley, near where we are today. We want to encourage mixed-use development with new housing, retail, commercial spaces, all while supporting existing businesses. This corridor intersects with Kent Kangley a little further south, just kind of right outside here, and that's been identified as a countywide growth center planned to become the center for jobs, housing, shopping, and recreation. Think corner shops, small restaurants, dry cleaners, daycare centers, all while maintaining a residential focus. Our vision in Kent includes more of these kinds of services that are close to home. I really encourage you to check out some of the outreach and the findings from the comp plan and during our update process. Sorry about that. You can scan the QR code that is in your program, and you can read all about it at engage.kentwa.gov. We know that people want to have services integrated in their neighborhoods instead of having to travel downtown or outside the city, which makes perfect sense. But it's not to say that we don't want residents going downtown or that that isn't our focus. We have big plans to keep revitalizing and reinvigorating downtown Kent and improve connections to the East Hill and the West Hill neighborhoods. Downtown is the heart of the Kent community, and it's also been recognized as a regional growth center. We have several amazing businesses, unique small places to eat and dine. I want to see our downtown continue to evolve with new and redeveloped places that are welcoming and attractive, places to gather and to socialize. Kent Station, Accesso Showware Center, and the historic downtown core near the Sounder Station bring people together. These are all kinds of fun community events put together by Kent Downtown Partnership. They just recently hosted the Cider and Ale Trail, Cajun Fest, all kinds of fun activities to bring people into the downtown. We also have the Kent Senior Activity Center, Kent Commons, and Caresown Park. We have a lot going for us, and we're going to continue making investments to raise the standard of downtown. I'm excited to say that vacant lot that we all affectionately know as the Penguin Lot, right? There's the Penguin. I don't know if it's coming in or coming out at that point, but the city has purchased that land, and if you've been down there lately, there's a fence around it, and we're actually taking out that concrete because it is going to be a new addition to Caresown Park, a gathering place in downtown. I know for me, it's been an eyesore for so very long as you drive by and see that vacant lot. So the city was able to use some of our ARPA funding during COVID, purchase the lot, and now it's going to be an amazing addition to the park. Yeah, long time coming. The comprehensive plan that we've been talking about anticipates downtown development and the fact that we need to accommodate over 1,000 new housing units and 2,700 new jobs. Our new Rediscovered Downtown Kent plan envisions a future for downtown as a dense, mixed-use urban center that complements transit and supports that new development. This plan includes downtown housing design guidelines to make sure that the buildings that are coming are attractive and constructed with high-quality materials, just wanting them to make it be a place where you want to be a part of something. Recent construction reflects strong confidence on the part of investors and owners, which bodes well for continued development. To support new development, the city also began implementing our Meet Me on Meeker standard to reimagine that Meeker corridor as a multimodal urban street with a strong sense of place. Meeker is a key commercial corridor that's our historic gateway in and out of downtown. As a part of this initiative, the city adopted a street design and construction standards in 2018 to create an attractive and cohesive feel for that area. Since then, numerous improvements have been made, and as you may have seen, some additional improvements are happening right now at 64th out in front of Kent Elementary. To date, the city has secured over $23 million in state and federal funding to make this vision possible. We would not have been able to do this project if it weren't for that funding. I do want to take a moment to acknowledge that there's been closures, lane reductions, and all of that, honestly, it's pretty annoying, right? Nobody likes construction, but the reality of redevelopment and improving our community is that construction can be inconvenient, but it's not a reason to not do things. It's not a reason to avoid that redevelopment. Let's face it, progress is painful, but in the end, it is so worth it. The calculus behind the work on Meeker over time is to reduce congestion, improve access and connectivity by supporting different ways of travel. We want local residents to enjoy the area where they live. Meeker is a way of thinking about how do we make sure that we're modernizing our city transportation planning. For the past few years, the City of Kent has been intentionally transitioning toward policies aimed at supporting multiple ways of getting around, guided by our Transportation Master Plan. Historically, transportation planning across the United States has always prioritized vehicles above everything else. The needs of pedestrians, cyclists, transit riders, youth, older adults, and people with disabilities have often been overlooked. So the TMP really marked a monumental shift in how we approach and emphasize multimodal improvements. It's about changing our way of thinking and creating a place that we call complete streets. So how is it a place that everybody can be? After all, if you think about it, we don't build cities for cars, we build them for people. So that means we've got to make places that are comfortable for people. Our goal with these investments is to give you and your family more options, help you get around more comfortably and in a way that works best for you. And for those of you that prefer and will continue to drive, do not feel left out. This is great news for you too. Complete Streets projects improve roadway conditions, and data shows that a 5% increase in neighborhood walkability reduces vehicle miles traveled by 6%. That's a net gain, right? And that means that if you're in your car, there's less traffic. So it works for everybody. Our transportation improvement program is a shorter range strategy that takes stock of some of these broader plans and puts them into action. Projects are identified based on things like availability of grant funding and the extent to which they accommodate growth and our desired level of service. So I've shared a bit with you about how we conceptualize transportation infrastructure. Take a look at this list behind me, and it shows the transportation improvement project list. When I talk about the level of service, what I mean is how are certain areas performing? Like, is this intersection getting enough cars through it, or is there too much congestion? A great example of an area that we'll be looking at in the future is really just a few hundred feet away from here, the intersection of 104th and 256th. We're planning an intersection study to determine what improvements we need to meet standards for those routes. Funding and service levels are a key part of how we prioritize projects. Another important factor is safety. That's honestly the primary factor. The City of Kent is moving forward with our Target Zero Action Plan, which builds on the work of our local road safety plan. The goal of this work is to eliminate fatalities and serious injuries on city streets. In practice, that translates to more visible markings, lighting, more sidewalks, connected streets, and shortening the distances between crossings. As it stands, we have a total of 23 rapid flashing beacons and 61 school zone flashers around the city, with 3 new flashing beacons coming this summer. Projects that are designed to specifically make it easier for children to get to school, we know also that those are eligible for funding from our Safe Routes to Schools program. I'm going to put in a little plug here. Those crosswalks are to be used. I don't know how many of you have been driving down the street and seen those fancy crosswalks and the flashing beacon and somebody running across the street. Don't be that person. Thank you. There's my little PSA. These plans I have been telling you about are really focused on our long-range vision for the city, but we also have strategies in place to address emerging hyper-local needs. Our ongoing residential traffic calming program is about making livability improvements directly in neighborhoods and right in front of homes. It empowers residents to kick off the process where city staff come down and meet with you. They evaluate the street to determine if conditions meet the standards for traffic calming. So at a high level, all of these things mentioned are how the City of Kent is modernizing our approach to transportation and getting people where they need to go. Alongside that, we're seeing record levels of investment from regional transit agencies in South King County. We've been working with Metro and Sound Transit to both maintain and expand service coverage all around the city. Nearly all major roads in Kent are served by some type of transit routes. We have 8 park and rides in the city as well. But we are aware that the east-west neighborhood streets, those connections, they're largely disconnected from transit. We're working with transit agencies to enhance connectivity and improve access, ensuring that residents have better and more efficient routes to key destinations. Metro's long-term transportation plan calls for additional rapid ride services that will further connect the East Hill community to the downtown and the new light rail stations on the West Hill. Earlier this year, Senator Murray's office announced an $80 million federal grant for the expansion of Rapid Ride I-Line, which is a 17-mile enhanced bus route that will replace Route 160 and run through Renton, Kent, and Auburn, with the planned opening in 2027. Along with direct station and transit upgrades, I-Line improvements include over 50 improved crosswalks. Again, please use them. And 11 street crossings that don't currently exist today. Growth in South King County isn't expected to slow down anytime soon, so these projects like the I-Line, are so important to our livability. Sound Transit has also invested over $62 million in that second Sounder garage at James and Railroad. It is about time. I'm going to say thank you to my Sound Transit friends for pushing those projects. They wouldn't have happened without you. I know all of you have seen that cold storage building come down. It is so exciting to see the revitalization and the improvements that are happening. This garage will add over 400 new parking stalls to support Sounder commuter rail with access to Kent Station and will be open sometime in 2027. And as I'm sure you've seen, Sound Transit has made significant progress on the future Kent Des Moines and Star Lake light rail stations as a part of the Federal Way Link extension. That service is scheduled to start in 2026. It's been a long time coming, but we are so close. They're actually testing trains out there. So you can see cars back and forth. Can't ride it yet, but it's coming. All right, I'm going to hand it off to a short video so you can hear directly from our city staff about some of the amazing projects that they are working on.
People made this happen. There's 3 new roads within the city of Kent near the Kent Des Moines station. 234th, 236, which is right, it's the heart of the station. The Kent Des Moines station actually splits and is up above over 236. When that opens, you'll see it. 236 will extend east of 30th, and it's actually the bus turnaround area and where there's a bus layover area, and this also provides another connection to the parking garage at Kent Des Moines station. So it's all brand new with streetscapes. We have landscape buffer strips, pedestrian amenities, and all that. From a city perspective, I was building those relationships with Sound Transit, with the contractor, with the other jurisdictions, within our staff. The city staff has been absolutely fantastic on this.
What we've got is this really important green space downtown that is a ripe opportunity for us to do something really, really cool. I think that we'll have one central spray park that will serve the need of the city broadly. We are looking at installing smaller water features. For example, Springwood Park, which is a project that we're working on right now, it's under construction, has a misting station.
Our Parks and Open Space Plan listed it as one of the immediate needs in our community, and also because Uplands is, in fact, ripe, as Terry said, for redevelopment. We want to be ahead of the curve of this development and the high density that's coming in. So we want to make sure that the park facility is there before everyone moves in.
One of the things we're really excited about is we're looking at how those topics overlap. And that's really where a lot of this collaboration comes in, is saying, how can we achieve this together? So we're having a lot of conversations with transit agencies, with King County, with Puget Sound Regional Council, as well as local tribes. And so we're having just a ton of different conversations all around, but we all have the same shared goals.
Some pretty cool projects. So what you just heard there were excerpts from our City of Kent podcast, our Kent Now podcast. We bring in city staff, representatives from regional agencies, and community members to help share what's happening around our city. So that conversation, if it piqued your interest, you can go to wherever you get your podcast, download Kent Now, and it's a really good way to keep up and have some more of that informal conversation about the things that are happening around our city. As we look forward to light rail being operational, we're also looking forward to some of the new development that will be happening along that route. Over the past several years, we've heard from thousands of residents, community organizations, and businesses about the need to expand housing options. It's a conversation happening not just in Kent, but around the region, the state, and the country. Sound Transit has been a great partner in identifying opportunities to bring additional housing, jobs, and gathering spaces through transit-oriented development along the light rail. So that whole area up there along Pacific Highway. Continued redevelopment of the Midway area on the West Hill is really being supported by regional high-capacity transit investment. We are grateful for that investment. It is critical that Kent has housing options that are the right size, near jobs, family, friends, and transit. That's really the core of what our Kent Housing Options Plan does. To support our community growth, and with the Kent Comprehensive Plan now in action, we're launching the next phase, and that's the initiative called Recode Kent. We're updating our zoning code citywide to improve the supply, types, affordability, and quality of housing. Like they say, variety is the spice of life, right? I mean, I think somebody says that. Our goal is to adopt new codes before the end of July this year. I'm going to be honest, it's a little bit of a moving target. The legislature kind of keeps changing the rules on us, but we are doing the very best we can to keep up. It leans into middle housing and streamlining permitting processes, which will support a healthy mix of housing while expanding opportunities for home ownership. I want people to be able to buy a home in our community, and that means we have a whole variety of options that are coming. While Kent has a large supply of affordable and subsidized housing, we have gaps in our housing spectrum, at the low end and the high end. It's important to have options for all income levels so that, again, generations of families can continue to call Kent home. When I say income levels, I also mean all stages of life. So spacious apartments with monitored amenities to support the region's executives, entry-level homes for new families starting out, and senior living options. Since 2018, we've increased our housing stock by about 5.5%. We're on track to add the required 10,000 new units by 2044. So every city gets an allotment of what they need to plan for, and that is where the city of Kent has been assigned, and so we are planning to accommodate those 10,000 units. As we update our zoning and look to incentivize more diverse housing options in Kent, we're also making sure that essential city infrastructure is well supported. We continue to make substantial investments to keep up with the growth that we are seeing and improve quality of life. It's a huge priority. The city is over 34 square miles. We are a really big city, both in population and in area. Thankfully, our public works crews prove time and time again that they are up to the task. They are out there every single day taking care of our city. We've been making good progress in recent years, but we still have more to do. We'll have more overlays and pavement preservation coming this summer. So don't worry, everybody will have something to chime in on Facebook and say, there's construction and I got stuck. Again, progress is painful, but it's a really good thing. And please, we welcome the conversation, so let us know what's bugging you, because we want to fix it. I also want you to know that that's really a joke. We do like that interaction. Last year alone, our crews responded to and filled over 1,400 potholes, most within 24 hours of being reported by residents through our Kent Works app. If you don't have it, definitely give it a download and check it out. You can use it to report a number of non-emergency issues to the city from your cell phone. Our crews have replaced about 1,000 road signs around the city to improve visibility and navigation for drivers. And we're consistently doing things like completing sidewalks, maintaining our sewer and water systems, keeping the lights on, moving along the roadside, working on city vehicles, and taking care of our green spaces. The staff in charge of everyday maintenance of all of our infrastructure and facilities are truly unsung heroes and essential employees deserving more praise. Could you please join me in saying thank you to them? We wouldn't have a city if it wasn't for our crews that are taking care of it. Whether it's routine improvements or new capital projects, there is an enormous amount of work happening in our city. Many of these projects are connected and completed in phases, and that work has paid off over time. Did anybody notice that there were no closures on James Street due to flooding this year? Come on. Look we went from flooding to sunbathing. That project happened over many, many years. The drainage and road improvements. It takes time, but we're always guided by the North Star of improving livability in our city. Last year, we were once again successful in securing significant regional investments. We're consistently leveraging outside funding at every opportunity so we can bring those dollars and put them to work in Kent. You've heard me say it lots of times. It is always more fun to spend other people's money. In 2024, the city received over $9 million in grant funding for public works infrastructure projects, and here's a whole list of them behind me, things that we've got in grant dollars at every level. Better infrastructure improves the quality of life in the community and helps connect the places we live, work, and shop all to the fun things there are to do in our city. I'm sure many of you agree that it kind of feels like the city of Kent is in our roundabout era. We did 4th and Willis, which has really become kind of an icon in our downtown. We've got Reith Road roundabouts that are almost complete, and there's many new traffic circles around the city. So you can tell we're fans. I know it seems like roundabouts are one of those things that you either love or you hate, but the reality is they improve traffic flow and safety. So we will continue looking at intersections and doing studies to identify ideal locations for those roundabouts. So hopefully you're all on board on the whole roundabout thing. See, there you go. It's more fun to try and weave in and out of traffic than it is to sit at a stoplight. At least that's what I think. Another great project we wrapped up this year that I'm particularly happy about are the new pedestrian safety improvements on 132nd. This is something that the families in that area, the parents of the kids going to school there, were really clear about. We needed to improve safety in that area. We were able to hold a ribbon cutting with neighborhood, staff, everybody that worked on it, our funding partners, and the members of the city council. I can tell you that it was absolutely a priority for our council, and we are so proud to get those improvements done. And as we look forward to the rest of the year, we will also be starting many new projects around the city. If you're anything like me and you drive by construction, you immediately wonder, what's going on? How come nobody told me about that? We've got a way for you to check that out. So if you're nosy and wondering like I am, you can go to buildkentwa.com, and there's all kinds of information about past, present, and future development. And kentwa.gov/projects has more details on city infrastructure projects. It's, again, all about keeping our residents informed. I'm going to touch on 2 of our future projects in particular, which are both enormous undertakings that have been years in the making and will level up our ability to provide excellent service to our residents. The new Kent East Hill Operations Center, or KEHOC, is under construction right now across from Clark Lake Park. It is one of the biggest projects that our city has undertaken in many years. This new building will provide much-needed additional space for staff who currently use the maintenance and operations facility down in the valley at the Russell Road shops. Honestly, conditions down there have not been the greatest. We have not done a good job of keeping up with the demand or the need for space. It was built over 30 years ago, and Kent's population has grown by over 64% in that time. That means that the mandate for services, the need, the equipment, the number of people has also grown. KEHOC will support maintenance and operations staff for both parks and public works, as well as an expansion of our Kent Police evidence storage. It will host our information technology data center, which is an important part of our digital infrastructure. Our IT department does an outstanding job of keeping our city systems running, making sure that we have cutting-edge cybersecurity architecture, and protecting your data. So as you can see, KEHOC will play a vital role in moving all of our city infrastructure forward, both the physical and the digital. We are planning on opening this facility later this year, and it is going to make a huge difference. We got to also take care of the employees that take care of all of us. Another part of how we are right-sizing city facilities to keep up with city growth is our new administrative services building. The current City Hall on 4th Avenue just isn't cutting it. It's had structural challenges and no longer meets the needs of our staff in terms of space. So really quick story, I had a Kentwood student come and spend some time with me job shadowing for a civics project. And we walked in the back door of City Hall. Excuse the language here. She says, "This building is hella old." I said, "Yes, we were born the same year." It's an old building, and as you imagine, investments in that type of building are expensive. So we've done the evaluation and determined that a new building just makes sense. The city recently purchased a BECU call center that's down in the valley across from the former Boeing Space Center, and we're currently undergoing the process to determine what we need to do to prepare that for our city employees to move in. I want to say thank you to the council for approving those contracts at their last meeting and really helping us move our city forward. Council chambers is going to remain in the heart of downtown. So right now it's in that City Hall building. It's going to move across the parking lot into the Centennial building and that first floor. The remainder of that building is going to be our new police headquarters, right? That is something you have heard us talk about for so long. Our police department is currently located in the library that I spent time in, like in the 3rd and 4th grade, back when you had to do book reports and use encyclopedias. We have people in closets in that building. It's not okay. So all of these projects, all of this moving around really means that we are going to have better, more efficient space for all of our city employees to provide you with the services that you deserve. We're going to make sure that we are setting our city up for the next 50 years. These projects are a testament to our ongoing commitment to building a resilient and more connected community. Speaking of being connected, I have some really exciting news to share. We have continually heard from our residents that they want more internet options. We listened. Can we get a drum roll, please? After months and months of discussion with multiple service providers, Easy Fiber will be investing $400 million to expand fiber service to Washington State, starting in the city of Kent. Yeah. Residential customers will have access to multi-gig, low-latency, underground fiber internet. So now the adults in the household can binge watch, I don't know, what's the most, White Lotus or something, and the kids won't be hogging all the bandwidth or playing Fortnite, any other games that kids are playing. It means that everybody in your house can be connected all the time. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Right? But we are so excited that Easy Fiber has decided to make this investment in our city. The addition of another internet service provider will give our residents more options and elevate the overall market. Network construction is already underway, and Kent businesses and residential customers can expect installations to begin as early as this spring. Another great part of this Easy Fiber situation, I don't know what the right word is there, is that they're creating 350 new jobs in the area, and their regional headquarters are going to be located right here in Kent. Yeah. So looking forward, we will continue planning and making policy decisions that bring good jobs and employers to Kent, much like Easy Fiber. Kent is a business-friendly city, and we're planning on keeping it that way. I want to say that out loud. We love business, and we want them to come to Kent. We will continue supporting our small businesses and entrepreneurs, as well as our retailers and large industry. We're doing all we can to keep business booming in Kent and attracting good jobs, solid employers, and new opportunities. The most recent employment data from Puget Sound Regional Council, or PSRC, shows 73,000 jobs in Kent, and we continue to be a comparatively advantaged place for business investment. We're seeing new businesses choose to bring their products, services, and jobs to Kent, with over 415 new business licenses in the past year. Some examples of new businesses are Smart Turf, Dough Zone, Make It Rain Fitness, and Top Pot Donuts, with more on the way, like Logan Brewing, which is coming into the old Airways space to the tap room down on 212. Yeah, we're excited to welcome Logan. And then there's a fan favorite, El Pollo Loco. That's going to be coming right next door to where we are now. I'll be honest, you heard my hesitation in that. I didn't realize how big of a deal this was for so many people, but I have learned there are some real local pollos here in Kent. We're very excited for the investment, and I am positive that the kids at KM are also going to be very excited to have that option right next door. We also have local businesses like Smith Brothers, V Garden, and Maywa Bakery that have been prominently featured in the Seattle Times and other publications. Kent is very, very well known for having some of the tastiest, most diverse and authentic cuisines in the region, really from all corners of the world. It's a real testament to our multicultural community. As we incentivize business to locate here, the city has kept up our commitment to supporting existing businesses. We've continued contracts with grant makers, small business organizations, financial institutions, and economic development groups to empower local entrepreneurs with free or low-cost guidance. Whether you're starting up or growing a business, seeking capital, or need advice on planning or marketing, one-on-one support is available to help you take your business to the next level. Our partnership with Business Impact Northwest has helped accelerate many businesses in the last year. We also helped the Kent Downtown Partnership to promote the Main Street Sales Tax Main Street Tax Credit Program. This is an incentive designed to redirect the state's portion of the business and occupations tax directly into downtown. That means businesses are paying that B&O tax and it's coming back in Kent. By participating, businesses can contribute directly to the economic development and community improvement efforts. It's a tax that you already have to pay. You might as well have it come back and invest in the community that you live in. The city has also continued to partner with the Kent Chamber of Commerce, which, as they say, are in business for your business. So it just proves the point. We've got lots of support for businesses because we want business to locate here in our city. We're also seeing some really exciting strides in Kent industry. We recently commissioned an economic analysis that estimated the overall impact of changes in the economy as a result of Kent businesses. You know that ripple effect that happens when you skip a rock? Well, the study revealed that the wholesale trade happening in the city of Kent enables over $7 billion in economic output throughout the region, about 7% of the state's economy. It also showed that Kent has the second highest share of manufacturing jobs in the state, with about $16 billion in economic output, over 6% of the state's total. Those are some pretty staggering numbers. So maybe it's more like a boulder, not just a rock. We're clear that investments in Kent industry benefits everyone. It leads to more spending, more jobs, higher wages, and creates new opportunities in and all around the area. And economic and business partnerships focused on people are at the center of what we do. That's what we're doing in the Kent Valley. The city of Kent is the main driver of the Kent Industrial Valley, an economic collaboration of sorts with all of our neighboring cities, so all the way from Renton down to Sumner. Over 105 million square feet of industrial buildings, close to 10,000 companies, and 232 jobs make up the valley, one of the largest warehousing and distribution centers in the state and one of America's top manufacturing regions. Shout out to all of our Kent Valley partners. We're doing amazing things. Collectively, we are powering our nearby ports, global advances in cutting-edge technology. And I really mean cutting edge. Okay, you guys, this is really cool. There's a company in the Kent Valley called Powerlight Technologies, and they're revolutionizing wireless energy transfer. So they figured out how to refuel drones in the air from the ground by transmitting power through laser beams. Pretty cool, huh? Actual laser beams. That is not a sentence that I thought I would ever say, but it's really impressive. On top of some of the incredible innovation in the Kent Valley, it is also a crucial economic center for putting groceries on shelves and in restaurants. It's also machining and supplying components that companies need and enabling our packages to arrive quickly. We all know how important it is. Anybody else get disappointed when Amazon says it's going to be 2 days instead of like by when you wake up in the morning? That's all happening in the Kent Valley. Another little unknown fact. You know the little cakes that hold your McGriddle together, the ones with little drops of syrup in them? The ones that you might crave in the morning and then you realize, it's past 11 a.m.? It's happened to me. Krusteaz, the company that makes them, is located right here in Kent. And they are loaded up here and they are sent to the ports and distributed across the world. Starbucks, Pike Place, and Christmas Blend Coffee are made and packaged here, as well as Manini's Pasta, donuts from Top Pot, Keurig Pods from Joe's Garage, Dilettante Chocolates, and many more. So there's some little bits of trivia that you can share with your friends tomorrow. Make sure you write them down. At Kent City Hall, we've put policies in place to support all kinds of different trade, markets, and products. And we're also focused on supporting the people in those buildings that power these industries. Our Rally the Valley design and performance standards for new buildings in the Valley are elevating the streetscape and creating spaces with great amenities and designs that are built for people. So instead of big concrete walls with no windows, we want spaces with trees and amenities for employees, places that people want to come and work. We know that that helps our employers attract top talent. People-centered investment that results in positive worker experience is what we are after. These policies are also encouraging more business types and different uses, so not just warehousing, which will help the Kent Valley build resilience in the ever-changing market. The unifying concept is to create complete, flexible industrial area with a range of activities and scales, much like biodiversity in the natural ecosystem. Part of this initiative's goal was to attract more advanced manufacturing jobs. Since these policies were put into place, we've approved 13 new buildings leading to over 2.7 million square feet of industrial space and 173 acres of development to meet those new standards. This strategy, along with the vital contributions of the private market, are making the Kent Valley stronger and more resilient. Businesses are reaching new heights as the Valley becomes an even more competitive and attractive place to set up shop. And the Valley isn't just reaching new heights as a manner of speaking, but also quite literally. Since the mid-1900s, the Kent Valley has been home to iconic aerospace companies. And the Valley remains at the forefront of the final frontier with over half the state's jobs in the space sector. We've seen a 55% increase in aerospace manufacturing since 2018, and the Valley is home to 34% of the entire state's economic output in the aerospace sector. Right here. These things that they do, the ventures that they support, truly boggle the mind. Another one of those sentences that I didn't think I would ever say. Reusable rockets that land themselves, bulletproof heat shields, solar panels made of lunar dust. Sometimes I hear about these things and I'm like, is that real? Is that science fiction? Is it from a comic book? It's all very real and it's all happening in our industrial valley. And it's directly tied to policy decisions and our continued support of these industries. These things don't happen by coincidence. Something to keep in mind is these aren't just fancy numbers in an Excel file open on somebody's desk or a really cool PowerPoint. I've seen a lot of those. And these things all make those things, but they're real. These are living wage jobs, people pursuing their passions, making their dreams and ambitions a reality, earning a solid living, and being part of a collective mission. And it's not just rocket scientists or brilliant engineers with PhDs. It's technicians and welders, machine operators, HR people, marketing. So many different things are coming out of these incredible companies in the Valley. I don't know about all of you, but it's wild to think about the production process that is happening right here. The innovation is staggering. From rocks in the dirt beneath our feet to the shop floor, pathways to electrical signals to run complex calculations, all culminating in 45 tons of metal reaching suborbital space. That is reality happening here in our valley. People with many different skill sets and backgrounds make it possible. And we know the key to that success, to supporting our space and other manufacturing industries, is a skilled workforce. Again, back to the people. That's why last November, we launched an ambitious new project, the establishment of the Kent Valley Air and Space Manufacturing Employers Roundtable. So many words for such an important thing. I talked a little bit about the early plans of this last year. We were calling it the Kent Valley Employers Roundtable, so we had to complicate it, add more words, but it's a really incredible thing. We've brought representatives, my fellow mayors, shout out, from Auburn, Renton, and Tukwila, along with our regional school districts, Green River College, Renton Technical College, and executives, C-suite level folks, the CEOs, CFOs of companies from 20 air and space manufacturing companies together for a single purpose. We want to provide high school educators, counselors, and administrators with insights on apprenticeship pathways in manufacturing with a focus on aerospace and new space industries in the Kent Valley. We know kids dream big. We want to nurture that by better connecting K-12 education with post-secondary pathways and address the challenges and obstacles our students face. Since 2018, supporting people. Since 2018, total manufacturing jobs in the city of Kent have grown by 15%, and aerospace manufacturing, in particular, by almost 55%. Compare that to about the 5.4% that it's increased around the region. It is clear from the data that business is booming in Kent, and we're leading the way. So the idea for this initiative is to give our next generation a leg up while bolstering our skilled workforce in Kent, expanding equitable access to some of our region's best jobs. Okay. Stick with me, I've got a little story. Has anybody ever heard of the movie October Sky, 90s movie, Jake Gyllenhaal, Laura Dern? If you haven't, here's a little spoiler alert, so if you want to go back home and watch it, plug your ears. It's set in a West Virginia coal mining village in 1957. This unlikely group of high school students were inspired by the launch of the Sputnik satellite, and they set out with the goal of building a rocket. The main character, Homer, gets a lot of pushback from those around him, runs into roadblocks and some trouble along the way. But his teacher, Miss Riley, encourages him and believes in him. The school and the community eventually get behind him, and by the end of the movie, Homer launches that rocket, named after his teacher. I think that's super sweet. It's a great film and such an inspiring story, but it's a perfect example of what we are doing here in Kent. We put the sentiment into action last year with our Space for All STEM event at Acesso Showwear Center. We brought together 30 vendors representing companies and nonprofits from around the region to offer an interactive hands-on activities to 4,000 attendees. There were so many smiling faces and kids that were being inspired by what they were seeing. The ultimate goal of Space for All was to ignite passion and curiosity for children from all backgrounds. While the impact of such events may not always be immediately measurable, the hope is that if even one child left feeling inspired and motivated to pursue a career in STEM, the event would be a success. A highlight was our keynote speaker, NASA engineer and retired astronaut Jose Hernandez. His story was a part of the movie A Million Miles Away. That one I highly recommend that you see if you haven't. His presence not only provided inspiration, but also underscored the importance of representation. Seeing someone like Mr. Hernandez with a similar cultural background and experience achieving success in a prestigious field like space exploration, it sends a powerful message to our young Latinos and other underrepresented groups that they too can excel in the field. I was doing an advertisement for the State of the City at our local Hispanic radio station, and the DJ told me how much his daughter enjoyed this event and what an impression it made on her. I'm going to also tell you as a side note, Jose Hernandez is also the man that invented the modern day mammogram. I, as a cancer survivor, had the chance to introduce him and give him a hug and say, thank you for saving my life. That's pretty powerful too. As hard and honor and exciting as that was, what was even better was to see the kids sitting in the audience watching him speak and really, truly believing that they could go to space too. It was such a powerful day. We're also going further and creating real programs that materially impact our students in a positive way. All systems are go in Kent, and we're moving forward with supporting career and technical education and career-connected learning in Kent schools. The city, Kent School District, and partners are collaborating to provide students with high-quality, engaging STEM education at every grade level. This will ensure that each student is equipped with post-high school pathways in a variety of fields which lead to employable skills and living wage careers right here at home. Some examples of this include identifying school day lessons across elementary and middle school to help our educators teach STEM, equipping our teachers with knowledge and resources for those subject matters so they can feel more confident in their instruction, implementing Core Plus curriculum to provide high school students hands-on learning and transferable skills that lead to a variety of careers. Consistent support for STEM, things like FIRST Robotics and Lego League. Quick side note, it's apparently a very well-kept secret. I don't know that I'm a huge Lego fan, and I actually have a Lego lunar rover in my office at City Hall. It's really cool, and I built it all by myself. But I have to say shout out to my kids for teaching me how to play with Legos. Some other examples of our partnership with the school district are pushing more school electives that incorporate career and technical education, bringing more guest speakers and business operation tours and events for kids to learn from and get inspired by. The Seattle Southside Chamber Workforce Education Summit that's held annually in partnership with the city at Acesso Showore Center is another great example of events that we like to see. High school students from 12 districts around the area participate in a career showcase in partnership with Highline and labor organizations like LIUNA. We are really expanding our support for community-based nonprofit organizations that align with these goals. Part of our partnership also includes working with schools to integrate apprenticeship options into career guidance, making sure that our kids understand that there are paths and things out there that are not necessarily that traditional four-year degree. We're leveraging funding from the Port of Seattle to facilitate a professional development series for educators run by the Aerospace Joint Apprenticeship Committee, or AJAC, right here in the Kent School District. 93% of each apprenticeship program is spent developing skills on the job at one of over 300 participating employers. The idea here is to utilize AJAC's proven track record to help inform and provide resources to school staff and apprenticeship pathways for their students. That way, they are better prepared to answer questions, get advice, and provide information on what's out there to help our students succeed. The next step we're working towards is to integrate AJAC partners with the Kent School District to directly offer youth apprenticeship programs to our students. Apprenticeship positions for jobs like production or automation technicians, machinists, and machine operators. It's because of work like this that the City of Kent was nominated as a Community Partner of the Year by Center for Advanced Manufacturing Puget Sound. We're really proud of this work. Apprenticeships programs train entry-level workers to become masters in their craft, earning certification and becoming the next leaders, mentors, and successors, instructors in the fields that they trained in. It's all about that giving back. We want to ensure that our students and future generations are all well-equipped and competitive in finding fulfilling and impactful careers in Kent's strongest industries. We want to empower all residents to live happy, comfortable lives right here at home. That's the goal. Another important part of how we get there is our approach to public safety. But before I get into that, I'm going to turn it back over to a video where you can see our staff talking about some of the programs that they're passionate about.
You know, National Night Out is a great opportunity for the community and the police department because it really is about neighbors coming out, getting to know each other in their neighborhoods, but then also working with their local police department. Neighborhood Block Watch is a proven crime prevention strategy. When neighbors know each other, they keep their eyes out for each other. So we often encourage neighborhoods to check in with your Block Watch members, update information, start a new Block Watch. It's a great opportunity.
When it started out, it was really about getting with neighborhoods to address crime issues. You know, it's expanded. You'll have every city department represented in Kent showing up. You can even talk to the firefighters. We let them come out and play too, you know. You've got police, you've got your parks personnel talking about programming for kids. It's expanded from a very kind of a narrow focus on just crime, but more in just addressing the needs of the community as a whole and what the city can offer its community.
Space for all, so making sure that we were including all communities. Amazing volunteers, so thank you volunteers for helping us. We've been seeing an increase of 50% already from last year, and that means we're connecting more with our residents.
The Adopter program is one of my favorite programs that I manage. It's a very meaningful program and one that obviously can see immediate results. It's really cool. We could not have the Adopt Street success without the internal people here in the city, right? Sure. The partnership with Public Works Operations team that makes it very easy for the adopters to be successful. It's a really good partnership all the way around.
Yeah. I love getting to hear our employees talk about what they do and the passion they have for those programs. At the beginning of that video, you heard from our community education team and the chief about things like National Night Out. We've got Block Watch and lots of other great programs. Our police department really strives to be a part of the fabric of our community, addressing all aspects of public safety for our residents, business owners, all of the concerns. That continues to be a #1 priority for us at Kent City Hall. For years now, you have heard me describe, our council describe, our police chief describe the staffing challenges we have in our police department. Simply put, we do not have enough police officers and support staff to provide the level of public safety our city deserves. And every year, you have seen me fully engaged with our state legislature, advocating to secure funding to overcome that shortfall. It goes all the way back to that streamlined sales tax conversation that we had at the beginning. We're not giving up on this effort. We're going to keep making those trips to Olympia. I want to say thank you to our Kent City Council who have supported this effort and made it clear to our legislature that the priority for our city is funding for public safety. We're not going to give up. We're going to continue to work to secure that funding. We don't really have any other choice. At the same time, we have maximized our available resources to ensure we are delivering the highest level of police services we can. Our department continues to do an outstanding job of ensuring that police officer position vacancies are filled. In 2024, our department was fully staffed to budget, with many agencies in our state running double-digit percentage vacancies. That is an incredible feat in the state of Washington in 2024. I am so proud of the work that they have done. Yeah. Something to keep in mind, though, is that when you hire brand new officers, it takes a year or a year and a half to get them up to speed. So again, that progress is slow, but we are making it. Part of the training that we offer in Kent that is unique is a program that you've heard me talk about. It's CLIP, Community Immersion Law Enforcement Program. It pairs our new officers, our recruits, with community organizations like World Relief, Vine Maple Place, and the YMCA in order to build relationships and trust with the community that they serve. Many of our new hires are trained up, and our department is deploying a larger number of officers and detectives than we have in the past 3 years. This accomplishment has resulted in positive outcomes. For the first time since 2020, crime was reduced in almost all categories. It's a testament to that hard work and that dedication and what happens when you have resources. Murders were down 36%. Shootings down 13%. Robberies were down 21%, and vehicle theft was down 39%. Having more officers on the street also means that call response times are lower than they have been. Officers are getting to 911 calls faster. When officers respond sooner to incidents, they're more likely to locate and arrest those that are committing the crime, more likely to prevent injury or death, and more likely to successfully administer life-saving medical. Let's not forget, it also means that you're not having to wait as long for an officer to arrive. I want to be clear, we are not anywhere near where we want to be with our response times. They are getting better, and having additional resources will help us meet those goals. We've been able to beef up proactive community-based patrols. Being proactive is always better than reactive. When I am out talking to neighbors, the thing that I hear the most is, I just want to see a police car driving through my neighborhood. That takes resources. We're working on it, I promise you. Staffing stability has allowed the department to stand up a new unit called the Crime Reduction Unit, or CREW. They are targeting hotspots around the city to reduce crime. They're not responding to 911 calls. They're using the data to deploy to areas where we know bad things are happening. The unit will be highly visible and conduct operations to arrest our highest frequency offenders. Our community education unit and neighborhood response team continues to build real, lasting relationships with residents, businesses, and community organizations. On the code enforcement side, our officers continue to hold property owners accountable for violations on their property. Think things like abandoned buildings and criminal nuisance properties. We've had several visible big wins in the past year. We took action to improve safety at the Phoenix Court Apartments. We've cleaned up the derelict gas station at 7-Eleven Central, not 7-Eleven on Central, but that one at the bottom of the hill. Who's driven by it? Horrible. It's down. Look at that. That never loved a vacant piece of property more than I love that corner. As it was coming down, I was driving in the car, I was with my mom. I may have stopped in the intersection after I made sure no one was coming to take a picture of it, is how excited I was about that. There's also the property that's east of Showware, absolute eyesore. That is cleaned up. Look at the difference, and that is code enforcement. One of the most persistent challenges we face is our homelessness crisis, and we're seeing that across the region, across the state. Our approach, which is similar to many other cities, and people are coming around to, is to start with compassion, working to connect unhoused people with services. We do all we can in that regard, but when a person will not accept services, we enforce the law and we clean up. We have partnered with several service providers who come with housing options, mental health treatment, medical treatment, and addiction services. Understanding that it can take multiple attempts before someone suffering from addiction or mental illness will accept help, our officers will continue making that personal contact. Our Special Operations Unit continued working with community organizations like Catholic Community Services, Union Gospel Mission, and the Salvation Army to connect people to resources. They work in partnership with our Health and Human Services programs and public works crews to address encampments and offer a helping hand. In 2024, our officers contacted 377 people in an effort to get them to accept services and get them off the street. Again, we are trying to help people, but if they don't take the help, we have to take enforcement action. We will continue to collaborate with community partners and offer preventative services in addition to support for those currently experiencing homelessness. Prevention is always better than trying to solve the problem on the other side, and we'll continue to focus on that. Addressing homelessness in our community requires a regional effort in support with common sense policies that seek to get people off the streets. That is something, as the South County, we have been advocating for strongly. We need common sense policies. We do not need laws, regulations, things coming out of Olympia, quite honestly, that do not help people get off the street. You have my commitment that we will continue to work on that effort. I am really proud to say that I truly believe it was the voice of South County that made a difference in this legislative session. So again, thank you to all of our partners in this work. We're seeing a result due to the combined efforts of every unit in our police department. Now imagine what we could do with adequate staffing for a city our size. I know that if we had an additional 35 officers, which would just get us to average, we would see the positive improvements all across our city. In addition to traditional crime fighting and public safety, our police department continues to deploy innovative strategies that work to address root causes of crime. We know that when there is domestic violence in a home, that trauma has long-lasting negative impacts on everyone, especially the children. Kids that grow up in a home where they are a witness to or become a victim of domestic violence are at a significantly higher risk of perpetuating that violence as an adult. Data shows that 40% of all crimes have a domestic violence nexus, meaning that just under half are committed by someone who has experienced domestic violence. What this all confirms is something that I have long believed. The better and stronger families are, the better we all are. That is why my proposed budget and the one adopted by the City Council included funding for Project Be Free, an organization providing co-responder domestic violence crisis intervention. Now, when our officers respond to a DV call and they have made the situation safe, they call Project Be Free to provide direct services and support to the entire family. They provide a suite of services depending on need, ranging from crisis and family counseling to temporary housing, legal advocacy, and mental health resources. These services are available in 19 languages, which is extremely important in a city like Kent. This program is having a powerful impact, working to directly support Kent families. Project Be Free has partnerships with other cities, including Seattle, Renton, Auburn, and Newcastle. They're truly doing amazing work for our community. Kent is making good use of these services, and we are building healthier families and making a brighter future for our city. The police department also continues to partner with FD Cares to provide real-time response to individuals experiencing a mental health crisis. This has been a valuable resource to our officers, allowing them to connect crisis response professionals with those in need. At the same time, it frees up our officers to handle other priority calls. On a weekly basis, FD Cares is reaching people in crisis, connecting them with treatment, and reducing the likelihood they will end up being incarcerated. We also continue utilizing settlement funds from the nationwide opioid lawsuits to fund things like our community court at the Kent Municipal Court. This program helps rehabilitate offenders battling addiction or mental health challenges by facilitating access to resources alongside of accountability. Those two things can coexist. We realize that there remains much more work to do, and you have my commitment that we will do all that we can. Public safety remains our top priority. A crucial element of that is making sure that people have access to the services and resources that they need. The city's Human Services Strategic Plan lays out goals, priorities, and strategies that we use to help community members find stability, dignity, and happiness in their lives. We want kids to be healthy and successful in school, older adults to thrive as they age, and for residents to feel safe and welcome. We recently passed our biennial budget, including human services grant funding for over 50 organizations and nonprofits, which are providing these critical services to our community. These programs focus on resilience and well-being, including people's physical, mental, and social health, and opportunities to create brighter futures. It's our goal to invest in both preventative and emergency services all along that crisis continuum. We maintain a safety net for services for Kent's most vulnerable residents while remaining flexible enough to respond to emerging needs. Things like supportive housing, food insecurity, childcare, education, case management, legal services, youth programs, transportation, language assistance, and much, much more. 2025 funding includes a new large-scale pilot program with the Salvation Army that will nearly double our investment to address homelessness. This funding will go toward outreach, intensive case management, as well as housing and other direct services. We are also very much looking forward to a crisis care center coming to South King County. That is something that voters in King County approved in 2023. We are working collaboratively in South County to find a location for that crisis care center so that when someone's in mental health crisis, they have a place to go. Right now, it's an emergency room, a 3-hour visit, maybe. We need a place for people to take their loved ones and for those experiencing the crisis to go and receive dignified treatment. Overall, our approach is to promote fair and just access to services and build partnerships that engage and empower community groups and stakeholders. We've continued to share pertinent information with our residents and the community through all of our online platforms, everything from fun event updates to weather conditions and how to prepare. As we share updates with the community, our goal is to be accessible and transparent as possible. The city clerk's office in Kent has responded to close to 9,000 public records requests, processed 60,000 minutes of body-worn camera footage, and reviewed over 500,000 emails, all to respond to requests. This is intense work, and I am so grateful and have so much respect for the staff that do it. The city also continued to implement our equity strategic plan with the launch of our language access plan. Another one of those facts, did you know that 42% of Kent households speak a language other than English? This initiative, our language access plan, will improve accessibility to city services and programs for non-English speakers through expanded translation and interpretation options. An example of this is the implementation of in-person interpreters and new translated forms available in Spanish, Russian, and Vietnamese at the Kent Municipal Court, with more forms and languages coming soon. Another great example is the distribution of Pocket Talk. It is a real-time assisted translation device that is made available at all of our customer-facing service counters. It helps bridge the gap so we can continue to provide service to everyone in our community. We actually have some of them in use here tonight. Over 130 languages are spoken in Kent homes, businesses, and schools, and nearly a third of our residents were born in another country. We want to make sure that our non-English speakers or those who have learned English as a second or third or fourth language have the same opportunities as everyone else. It's essential to me, to our council and our staff, that we are culturally responsive and equitable in how we serve. City boards, like our Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Board, help keep city leadership connected to the needs of our diverse residents and keep equitable service at the forefront. Combining different perspectives and experience strengthens our relationship with those that we serve. On that note, I am proud to say new hire diversity in the City of Kent has increased 10% over the past 3 years, bettering our efforts to ensure city government looks like the community that we serve. Absolutely. We also continue to be an employer of choice. We have 90% retention rate for city employees and reviewed over 4,000 candidates applying for positions in 2024. The City of Kent also continues to be recognized for excellence in financial reporting and the spirit of full disclosure. All right, now on to the department that our director calls the fun department, Parks and Rec. We have some beautiful parks here in Kent and a team of dedicated staff that truly care and pour their souls into creating places and programs that enrich our lives. As a kid, I played soccer with Kent Parks, and I am proud that I carried on that tradition with my own kids. Our Parks Department strives to offer opportunities for play, recreation, and leisure with the goal of positively influencing community outcomes. Our Parks team works to remove barriers so that everyone, people of all ages, all physical and cognitive abilities, and all cultural and ethnic backgrounds have an opportunity to enjoy the benefits of parks and recreation. We maintain 58 parks, over 1,200 acres of open space, 14 tennis courts, 5 full and 10 half basketball courts, pickleball courts, 38 miles of trails, 29 playgrounds, 3 athletic complexes, and a cricket field. It's so much fun. These are a lot of great reasons to be active. In 2024, we estimated over 1.8 million visitors into our parks and 160,000 registered program participants. Riverbend Golf Course. This hosts the city's championship 18-hole golf course. It has been ranked as one of the busiest municipal courses in the state for the past 15 years. 67,000 rounds of golf were played there. I don't know how people have that much time, but it must be fun. 10 million golf balls hit at the driving range. Sticking with the golf conversation, I've got some really exciting news. Council just approved a contract this week, and we are welcoming Riverbend Bar and Grill to the golf course soon. So stay tuned. Got to have a place for all of those golfers to hang out, grab a burger, grab a beer, and relax a little bit after golf. We want to provide places and programs where Kent residents, visitors, and employees can go to exercise, get healthy, stay fit, and practice their skills. And to provide connections to nature, which is proven to lower stress levels and improve mental health, something I know we can all use a little more of. Safe places for our kids to go when they are not in school, places where they can build connections and with other kids and mentors, and to just offer opportunities for wellness and enrichment. We've been putting parks and open space plan that council adopted in 2022 into motion, and we're seeing great results. Kent Parks is one of the city's largest providers of safe and fun alternatives to daycare, which we know supports working families in our community. Last year, we maintained packed schedules and engaged with thousands of youth and senior participants in sports leagues, programs, and classes. In case you missed it, our 2025 Spring and Summer Parks and Recreation Guide landed in mailboxes this month. You can also check out everything we have to offer at mykentparks.com/register. Kent Parks is also one of the primary providers of arts programming in the area and offers performances of music, dance, and theater, making sure that we're bridging that cultural expanse for our residents. Fun fact, got lots of them tonight. The Kent Parks Commission is the oldest in the state and was established in 1975. That is quite a legacy. We've also launched new programs like our Schools Out Park at Kent Laboratory Academy and brought back our Green Kent series of conservation events to help keep our parks healthy and free of invasive plant species. Our adaptive rec program, which is truly in a league of its own, continues serving our community. It offers a full range of inclusive programs, services, and classes for participants with disabilities. Everyone in Kent deserves the opportunity to equally participate in and benefit from, enjoy our Parks and Recreations program and everything our city has to offer. In September of last year, we celebrated Jaylene Roberts, a 2017 KM grad, Go Royals, who brought home a silver medal in the long jump and a bronze medal in the 100 meters at the Paris Paralympic Games. Yeah, she is an amazing young woman. She's a Kent Parks kid and got her start playing sports at Wilson Playfield, even serving on our Parks and Rec Commission when she was in high school. Jaylene was born with cerebral palsy, but that did not stop her. Her incredible perseverance, determination, and achievements continue to inspire countless others. We were so proud to recognize her at our council meeting, and it just goes to show that these programs that Kent Parks offer really, truly do make a difference. So as you can tell, we've got a lot going on in terms of programming. We're going to continue delivering these services and programs and make renovations and upgrades also to our facilities around the city. We will also find more and creative opportunities to partner with other organizations and leverage regional resources. We've completed major renovations at Morrow Meadows Park, minor improvements at Glen Nelson, and several other parks around the city. And if you haven't been to the Kent Commons lately, some substantial upgrades are underway, and phase 2 of that renovation is expected to be fully complete this April with a grand opening coming on May 4th. These are real investments in our community, and we'll continue working to ensure long-term and predictable funding sources to sustain our parks facilities. Last year, our Parks Department secured $5.4 million in grants and completed 34 renovations projects. We've kicked off a redevelopment project at Campus Park, just right here next to the high school, and will complete renovations at Springwood Park in the coming months. We have several other projects currently underway, and you can see them all right behind me. As we keep planning for the future of recreation in Kent, we can't do it without your input. It's really important that we are doing things that are important to you. I want to encourage you to share your thoughts and feedback at engagekentparks.com. Our parks team consistently incorporates community feedback into the planning process and finalized designs. Kent Parks belong to everyone in the community, and everyone deserves to have their voices heard. We're getting close. Hang in there with me. I know it's so hard to pare everything down because we've got so many good things happening. Ultimately, everything we do is for you, the residents of Kent, the people that live and work and do business in our city. We have sustained and stepped up our communication and engagement year after year and do our utmost to keep the community in the loop. From programs and services to events that are fun for the whole family, we partner with numerous organizations to help coordinate lots of these programs each year. Things like Kent Cornucopia Days in conjunction with the Lions Club, International Festival, 4th of July Splash, Paw Fest, Kent Kitty Hall. How fun is that? Winterfest, and so much more. I think at Kent Kitty Hall, maybe more city employees adopted cats than residents, but there's no judging going on. We are grateful for the organizations and individuals and Kent employees that make these great events possible. We've also continued holding some smaller scale, more personal conversations. I've enjoyed meeting with residents and answering questions at 6 coffee and conversations throughout the last year at local coffee shops, and we had 14 drinks in the driveway events in neighborhoods. I bring along our team, and we set up lawn chairs and an ice cream cart in someone's driveway, and we just have a conversation about what's going on in the neighborhood. I love hearing directly from our residents. It's only grown, and we're looking forward to kicking the program off again this June. And this year, we're also launching a new program called Sidewalk Sessions. While Drinks in the Driveway is a more community safety and code enforcement conversation, Sidewalk Sessions will be centered on infrastructure, roads, and sidewalks. I'm really looking forward to these getting going, and we encourage you to sign up your neighborhood at kentwa.gov/sidewalk sessions. We've added 5 new neighborhoods to our neighborhood council program, bringing it to a total of 57. That is a question that Councilmember Boyce asks every time that we have a presentation, so we're on track to get to 60 this year. Our neighborhood matching grant program kept funding local improvements like the tree replacement project that we supported last year in the Misty Meadows neighborhood. Our Kent 101 program is also going strong, and again, it's great to see many of you here tonight. This has been a fantastic way to bring residents together with a shared interest and passion for civic engagement to learn about how their local government works. Some of my favorite programs that have seen growth and have been incredible, you saw some in the video, Adopt a Street and Team Up to Clean Up. Remember that 34 square miles? We can't do it by ourselves. We are so grateful for the volunteers. 1,100 volunteers last year that teamed up to clean up all around our city. These events were hosted by community organizations and local businesses. A ton of residents also took advantage of our recycling events. Here at Kent, we care a lot about involving the people that we serve. After all, the city belongs to all of us, and I want you and your family to be proud of calling Kent home and proud of your local government that we care about your neighborhood. There are a lot of pages in Kent's story, and every year we start with a blank page. Got some notes on the side, but it is up to all of us to write what comes next and where we go from here. They say that when you look out into the night sky, the light that you see has traveled for millions or even billions of years. My great-grandparents chose Kent as their home under the same stars that I will be looking at tonight when I head home. The decisions that generations made before us continue to shine in our lives, and the decisions that we make today will impact generations to come. We want those choices to withstand the test of time. And although we can't always see the full extent of those effects, we keep putting one foot forward, one foot in front of the other, work with what we've got, and do the best we can for our city. There's bumps in the roads along the way, some pain in the progress as we create walkable neighborhoods and better connect community. We'll see some wrinkles, but we'll do what we always do. We'll iron them out. Guiding our city's evolution as we share with the 140,000 people that live here takes a lot of planning. We must stay nimble and react and be willing to course correct when we need to. As we navigate our future, our role is to combine those previous visions for our city with the current vision, with our vision. The expansion of light rail in the region was planned over a decade ago, and soon it will finally provide access and convenience to our city and create opportunities. Key investments and property acquisitions made our parks and open space, those decisions made by previous leaders like the amazing Mayor Hogan, enable us to be imaginative and create some of the most beautiful and unique parks in the region. Planners and engineers and construction workers that put down the foundation we lay bricks on today as we keep building out our corridors and elevating our city's infrastructure. Kent has such a bright future and so much potential. Our greatest strength is always people, you, your family, our neighbors. I feel blessed to work with some of the best people every day toward our shared vision of Kent and to go into the community and see the real impacts of that work. We're going to keep bringing good jobs to Kent and supporting small businesses. We are going to keep improving public safety and emergency services, investing in the city's infrastructure, parks, human services, and our kids' future. We are going to keep expanding housing and transit options, elevating our communication, and will remain committed to transparency. We're going to keep serving with compassion and striving for equity and inclusion. We have all the ingredients to continue to be a world-class city for residents and businesses to thrive and make a lasting impact. My hope is that you will join me in the passion that keeps me going, the idea that I work for every day, showing the world Kent's potential, and making sure that residents, businesses, and community organizations have the tools they need to turn that potential into reality. I hope you all head back home tonight confident in what lies ahead, knowing that we at the City of Kent are working hard for you each and every day to make our shared vision of a vibrant community a reality. Don't let anyone tell you the sky is the limit when Kent has already had a hand in putting footprints on the moon. I am so proud to call Kent home, and it is such an honor to serve as your mayor. The state of our city is strong, and we are going to keep moving Kent forward. Thank you all so much for coming.